Hi, my name is Miriam Salome with the Runner's Mechanic Physical Therapy Clinic. I just want to give you some tips as we go into the weekend, especially as people are running more and more. A lot of the reports I'm getting from my clients is that they're spending a lot more time running and running into some issues. And all that's natural. The more time you spend on your feet, especially if there's a sharp change in your training, we see those kinds of errors. And so I wanted to bring up three really easy pieces of advice based on some research as we go into not only the weekend, but into the stay-at-home order where we have a lot more time to do the activities that we love, but doing them safely. All right, one is talking about the immune system, and this is from Podium Runner. This is the research of David Neiman. And again, these are just some basic rules of advice. You don't have to follow them to the T, but what he did was study the immune system of runners over the course of 40 years. And they do find after a runner has a really hard effort, okay, whether that's an intense training run or a marathon or an ultra race, that they find this dive in their immune system response and they're more vulnerable to infection. Obviously that's a big issue right now, okay? And so what he's saying is that they found that people's immune systems tend to have the most resiliency when they have this 60-60-60 rule, and that's keeping under 60 miles per week, keeping your effort levels at 60% or slightly less, okay? And what that is, how you equate that is looking at keeping about 75% of your max heart rate and keeping the workouts at 60 minutes or under, okay? And of course, you're always gonna have that nice long run, but I think making sure you don't have too many of those, especially within a week, can definitely help decrease the risk of infection and keep your immune system healthy. The second one is along the same lines, but it's looking at the 10% rule. I think traditionally we hear about the 10% rule, not increasing your mileage more than the 10% per week. There is actually no science really based on the 10% rule, but what we do find is when we're looking at training stimulus, if you do start to incrementally add a little more mileage each week, after about that third week, do drop off a bit for that fourth week to allow some recovery. All right, so if you don't take in account your miles that you're doing per week, you might want to start a log so you can start to track these, because again, if you have more time and you're getting out there and you're loving your runs, you may be doing a lot more than what you think you are. So start logging your runs and making sure that if you have been building over the last couple of weeks, to take a week to recover a little bit, and then you can start to build back up again. So in those kind of 4-week blocks. The last bit of advice and research is a really exciting study done by Maliso, looking at parallel rotation of different shoes. And what this is talking about, it doesn't mean for you to go out and buy a maximalist shoe or a minimalist shoe and then rotate all these different kinds of shoes that you've never run in before. But if you have 2 or 3 different pairs of shoes, different brands that you enjoy, you've been running in successfully, do try to rotate them through the week. What they found is actually a 39% decrease in injury rates when they looked at these studies and these large groups of runners, which is pretty phenomenal. So it's super simple to do. So if you can, give that a try, rotating your different pair of shoes during your week. I hope that was helpful. I hope you have a really great weekend, and just contact me if you have any questions.